ladies and gentlemen. Today I want actually to talk about this serious issue which is taking place in our republic. And the issue is about abduction. Because as you know, young and energetic citizens of this republic have been abducted here and there. And this issue about abduction, it never started yesterday. It has been with us since the time when we had more in power, as I can remember. Abduction has been an issue. During the Moi era, people used to be abducted and they were taken to Nyayo chambers. And it was really known. If a person was abducted, he was taken to Nyayo chambers. But there's a difference with the abduction which is happening today. Because once a person is abducted, he is not actually taken to places where you can be able to know. He's not taken to a government place where actually you can go and check for that person. So it's a very worrying trend in the Republic of Kenya. And that's why I want actually us to talk about this. And there are various issues which we want to shed light on. And there are various questions we want to see whether we can have to answer them or they will actually remain unanswered forever. For example, we want to know who is really abducting these youths. Is it the government or is it rogue people outside here? We also want to know what are the abductees saying since now they have been released. Because as you know, the following youths were actually abducted. We had cartoonist Kibet Bull. We also had Ronnie Kiblagat. We also had Peter Muteti and Bernard Kafuli, who were abducted, and now they have been released. We could also know how these people are talking about this abduction. And lastly, we want to know what is the political class saying about this abduction. So those actually are the questions we want to break down. But before we dive in and try to look at those various questions, I could like to request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video thumbs up, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it is good to request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Now let us dive into this issue about abduction. As you understand very well, is that this issue about abduction has actually been there in the Kenyan scenario because people used to be abducted and now people are being abducted. Because during the Moi era, we can know where the abductees were taken. But in the President William Samoei Ruto, you could not tell whether those who have been abducted, have they been abducted by the government or have they been abducted by rogue people outside here? So it's very much worrying. And that is why once you get your loved one, your child, your cousin, your brother has been abducted, It is something which spell doom to those who love those individuals, because you wonder, who has really abducted my beloved one? It really instills fear, because you don't know whether the next time you will see that person, he will be dead or he will be alive. And that's why most of the parents, the way they have shared out about what they really felt, what they really went through, probably when their sons were abducted, you will find that the parents were in a shocking mood. They really don't know what really happens or what happened to their sons. And they were so much in fear because they never knew what could happen in the next day. So this abduction issue is actually causing a lot of pain to the Kenyans, and it needs to stop. Also, there are very many questions which actually have been left unanswered. And one of the questions which has been left unanswered is that who is abducting these youths? And now, since the youths have come out, there are very many issues. If you ask these youths, they cannot be able to tell. And that's why most of them, they have said they don't want to share anything about that issue. For them, it's good to keep silent so that they can heal from the trauma which was caused because of the abduction. So sometimes people get abducted, but when they come out, we really don't know what went when they were abducted, because many people have not come out to share the really pain they went through. And as you know, during the Moi era, we really know what happened at the Nyayo chambers, because those who went there, they could come out and they could share what they went through, the hell they went through. But these recent abductions, we really don't get to know what happened. And that really causes a lot of fear. And sometimes it really makes us feel that those who were abducted, probably they were said that they should go and they should never share anything when they are going to be out. That means they were caused a lot of pain to them. And they were so much traumatized. Until now, they fear to speak out. So those are things which we will never be able to know about. Another thing which we actually must really be able to know, what is the political class talking about this abduction? Is the political class coming out to condemn that? Is the political class tolerating that? But as we have been looking at the political class, it really feels that the political class does not care about this abduction, because there is this feel to the Kenyans that when the political class is in bed with the government, it feels that they don't see this as a big issue. But when they are in the side of opposition, they come out, they always make noise about the abduction. And that's why, if you look at the political class, some of the individuals in the political class, you will find that at the time when they are in government, they actually get involved in the abduction. But when they move out of the government, they condemn what they used to practice when they were in the government. So this is very sad. And that's why we cannot rely on the political side. And at the same time, this issue has been used by the political class as an issue which they will use to climb the ladder of politics. And that's why you will find during the time of Gen Zs, there were very many youths who were abducted. There were very many youths who lost their lives. And some of the people in the political class, they used that for them to gain politically. And that's why you will hear the Gen Z saying that some of the politicians, they dance where there is blood of the Gen Zs. They laid on the Gen Z's blood and they climbed the ladder of their political career. So in Kenya, the political class cannot be trusted. Today you will hear them so much condemning abduction, but tomorrow when they take part and they become part of the government which is in place, they will again practice these outdated kind of duties of abducting. So we need to have a political class which has actually changed, which knows that whether you are in government or outside government, you should always be able to condemn this culture of abduction. You should always be able to come out and say abduction is not necessary in this republic. Because we have the courts. If somebody does a mistake, let him to be taken to the courts. Also, there is this issue which has actually come out about the morals, about how the youth are using social media so badly. It's good that we must regulate on how to use social media. And that's why we should come up with rules and regulations on how we have to use social media. But that should never be used to curtail freedom of expression, because our constitution gives us that. It's one of the human right principles which we must always safeguard. And that tells that says something about morals in our society. Our protap is bad. And instead of doing the abduction, we should look at each other's eyes and say, how can we deal with the moral decay in our society? Instead, using that as a leeway to do what we call the abduction. So this issue of abduction must be condemned. And also the youths must always know how to use the social space. We must have what we call the speed governance on ourselves. We must know that this should be put in social media, this should be left out. And we must use our freedom in the right way, in a way that we want to make Kenya great. But the issue of abduction should be completely be condemned with strongest words possible. What is your say about abduction in the Republic of Kenya? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to come into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, it's good to request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have subscribed to this YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly, because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And with that, I say adios.